of it all, untouchable, a new animal. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made.
Guys, I am Jeremy LaRose. Welcome to another week of LSH Live. We are here with Peanut. We're going to keep working on a little bit of hip control. So to me, one of the big things that I need to have is a horse that gives up her hips willingly. We talked about that with Enzo. We're going to revisit that with this horse. One of the things that I kind of realized, like with my own training program, and this is for all the trainers out there, you kind of get stuck riding one way, and then like one day it'll kind of dawn on you like, oh yeah, I need to have hip control. And then you go back through and you get hip control on all your horses, and you do the same move on all of them. So it's kind of the stage that we've been at with all of these horses is we've gotten control of a lot of areas, but we've kind of neglected our hips and getting them as soft as we should. So going back through and kind of filling in those holes on all these horses. So we're kind of doing the same move on all of them, kind of getting different results from them. They're going to be softer in some areas, harder in some. You're going to find trends in your horses as you go. So a lot of times when you ride horses, you'll be like, oh, all of my horses struggle with this one thing and not just one of them. So when you're riding along, all of my horses struggle to the right, giving their hips up on the inside. Now, whether that's something I'm creating or something I just happen to get a string of a bunch of horses right now that are better to the left than the right, we don't know, and that remains to be seen. But I can tell you that my horses are better and softer in their hips to the right or to the left than the right. And that's just something I've noticed. So what you got to do is you got to spend more time going your bad direction. You can't come out here and just work one way. You know, work that horse's good way, work that strong way. You got to revisit all their weaknesses. It's kind of my job as a horse trainer to visit these horses' weaknesses and show them how to be and how to operate within this area. So you can see where this horse, she's going to make some funny moves. She's going to make some funny steps as we go along. To the right here, this is the same move I was doing on Enzo, a little bit different response. Like she doesn't shove her hip out nearly as much, but she gets a little lost up front. She doesn't really like this move, and she gets kind of upset about it. So you'll see her, she'll take a little bit of like a strikey step with her front leg and get a little tripped up. So what I'm looking for here is fluidity. We talked about that on Enzo. We couldn't really see it on him. Like with him, some steps of his were fluid, some weren't. They were kind of jagged. And that, all those jagged steps are things that I look to get out of there. Our horse's ride should have a metronome to it. So we talk about that with our showmanship, where we've got this little metronome ticking. Her feet should be stepping in that timing the whole way around here. If I expect her lope to be consistent and rhythmic, then her steps have got to be consistent and rhythmic. And you see how I'm not changing my position at all, but look how these steps, there's like one quick one slow one, two quick ones, one slow one, and it's just kind of all over the place with her rhythm. So I've got to have a horse that has rhythm through her footfalls. Western Pleasure is a class about rhythm and timing and consistency. So I need to have a horse that will be consistent in this time where she's just stepping along through this and not getting quick and hurried with some steps. So I'll just kind of stay in this maneuver until she gets rhythmic through this maneuver, until she gives up this piece and just kind of settles in here. So a lot of times we get out when they're getting like quick-minded or quick-legged. Remember, I want to stay here until she kind of gives this piece up and recognizes like, oh, I just have to make this move. I got to be soft and willing and rhythmic as we go. So I'll show you the difference between the right side and the left side, because there's such a huge difference, especially on this horse. And if you watch her right lead versus her left lead, we're in very different places with both of them. So if I come into my left side here, I can get in the same position and kind of bridle her up, keep her down in her face. And now my walk circle here has got a lot more rhythm to it. It's not nearly as stunty. And this is just a smoother, softer position for this horse to be in. See how she's not getting hurried or getting mad in her face or getting mad in her back end. She's kind of just moving through this. Well, that translates directly to when we lope around, because my left lead has so much rhythm to it and so much consistency that I can kind of step through here and lope along in this circle and just feel that rhythm. And those steps really don't change a lot. The position doesn't change a lot. I'm not having to work very hard to keep her in this shape. Like I'm kind of just sitting here with my hand I'm not really shuffling a lot, not really working my outside foot at all. And she's just kind of maintaining this on her own. So she understands this shape very well. She's got her hip on the inside. She's got this back end underneath of her. Sometimes she's not terribly happy about it, but it's there and she's stepping on it and we're lifting up into the ground. So I like this shape a lot. Whoa. So if I go along and I try that with my right lead, I'll just kind of set up my walk first, coming along here, out of walk, create my shape the same way I did the other way, kind of set my hands, set my feet, got my position down. I already feel it here at a walk. I already feel that kind of confusion in her feet with where she's supposed to be stepping. I can feel it in her back end. This is tight. These steps get short, they get big, they get small, they get big. It's not rhythmic, it's not consistent. So when I go lope out of this, if I try to sit the same way that I did the other way, now look, I've lost my shape in my head and neck. I've not changed my hands at all from where I was loping my left lead circle, but now she can't maintain it. So if I come in, I'm gonna feel how much more I have to help this horse to get in this position. We see it in her legs. We see the confusion in her legs. So if I try to sit here, look how these are all over the place. This circle is shifting on me all the time. My front end is shifting, my head and neck's in the air, my tail's going crazy, right? My back end's just kind of goofy. It's a little bit messed up. And this is something we see all the time. So this horse is just stiff, right? You see her braced against my hands. She's not really giving to the bit at all. She's not rounding up to her face. She's not giving herself up. So we got to spend more time with this right lead, getting her to where this is as comfortable and rhythmic as her left lead is. See her just shove all over me, right? So she's just got to figure out and get in this spot and just hold it, maintain it. You see how much she fights that. So I'm just keeping my hands moving, keeping my feet in this shape, and we'll just kind of sit on this circle, let her find herself, let her figure it out. Remember what we talked about before was that it's our job to provide a shape. Now this is a lope shape to the right. This is curving your body. This is sitting on your back end. This is giving your face to the bit. I'm in the shape. When she gets in the right place, she'll give to it and she'll find a way to conform to that shape. And then it'll get right. So you see her drop in a little bit. I'll kind of soften up. I've made the circle a little bit bigger because she needs it right now. She needs that circle to be a little bit bigger. Needs me to help her out. So, and it's just this horse's weakness. She's kind of come into this right side a little bit more bracy. We run into our hands a lot more. We run into the bit a lot more. So I wanted to show you guys this, how this changes horse to horse and how it looks when you got one side that's extremely overdeveloped and one side it's not, right? Because that happens all the time. It's so much more fun to come out here and ride this horse right here on this left side and lope it off and be like, man, this is nice, right? This horse is just knocking it out. I can come over here. I can shape this horse up, shuffle my hands. Look how she doesn't push all over me. She stands up and her shoulder's nice. I got a good clean front leg coming through. I got my hip on the inside. Because I have my hip on the inside, she's got something to stand on. I can put her down. And I got a horse that's got a lot of rhythm and a lot of natural ability. But this is the ugly part of horse training where I've got to work this bad side. I got to help this horse's weaknesses. I can't just sit there and show off her strengths and never work on her weaknesses. I don't need to even go to the left really on this horse, except as a way to kind of test myself and say, wait, what is that supposed to feel like again? What's my lope supposed to do? How can she get in that shape? She's already shown me that she has the physical ability to do it. Now it's just, can she get her head around placing her feet to the right like she's done to the left? So here you see her not shoving on my hands so bad anymore. I got a lot better position here, a lot better shape underneath. It's much more rhythmic, way better, way nicer. I still have my hip shearing out a little bit. I still have a bit more bend in my neck than I do. I don't feel like I have control of my outside shoulder because if I bring this hand over and tighten this up, look how she falls down. So now you see that hip spin out. Now she's got to step underneath herself a lot deeper over here in order to make that circle when I tighten it up. So that's a little bit tighter circle, more similar to what she can do to the left, but I can't do it to the right. I can't do it with the right shape because she's all over my hands here. She's just leaning all over me. And it's kind of hard to tell in the video, but you can see her mouth gapped up. I can feel it in my hands how heavy she is. So I got to get this horse lightened up right here. She's got to get this piece up and this piece in line. So I got to be able to bring that hip in line, keep that hip on the inside, get this soft really here, right here, this shape really soft. She's got to be able to lope through that. Bring my outside hand in. There's my hole, right? See her lift up through that. She thinks she needs her neck to lope along. And I'm trying to tell her you don't if you've got your body in the right shape. If you have your back end and your back underneath of you the way you're supposed to, you don't need your neck to be bobbing to lope around. And that's kind of her big issue, is she thinks she needs her neck to pull up her outside front. So you see those horses all the time where their neck is going out of control and they're just doing this little oil rig, and it's all off their outside front. So that her neck is gonna pop up in the air the same time as her left front leg when she's loping to the right here. And that's something just to keep in mind. As she goes along, lope off, keep your neck down, teach her how to break down. The other issue that we have with this horse, and something we're gonna spend a lot of time on, is coming right here. If we look at her neck, she's not broke down right here. We've got to get this piece dropped in. She's got to drop right here. So what does that look like? We got to come right here with our hands. See how she doesn't drop? That's level right there. That's not down. Okay, if you watch her ears are way down. I don't need her ears to be way down. I need her to break right here. She's got to drop right there. When she drops right there, then she can lift her back up there. If she can lift her back up, she can do that move. So what I need is the ability to drop her neck down and like way down, like keep it way down there. See me shuffling those hands left to right, dropping that neck down so she learns to lift her shoulders without the help of her neck, okay? She's gotta be able to get in this shape without the help of her neck picking her shoulders up. So I'm here, keeping my hands low, just working this head and neck down, making her break right here, making her drop and bend right there. So that'll bring my chin into my inside point of my shoulder, which is the correct shape for a lope circle. So now if I lope out of this, I have a bigger chance of my belly coming up because that neck is down, okay? So think about that for a second. If her neck is down, I have a bigger chance of these being able to come up. So everything behind that now can free up and lift up underneath of me. I need a horse that'll lift right through here. This has got to be the highest part of her body. So when I'm riding this horse, I'm coming along, I'm gonna keep her broke down right here. I'm gonna ask her to lope out of this. So I'm right here, shuffling my hands, same thing on Enzo, keep my hands busy through the transition. This is probably one of the hardest things to do for people when we go all over the clinics, is keep the hands moving as you ask for the lope off, and see if she's gotta find that lope off without the use of her neck. So now, just keep shuffling my hands wide, ask her to stay in this shape, ask her to stay down in that neck. Now, I'm gonna find that now she can lift up her middle. You see how much better this shape is. See how she's not fighting me so much. Now her rhythm gets a little bit more consistent. If she's got her head in the air and she's pulling all over me, then that rhythm is really bad, right? She has a hard time with that. So I'm bringing that head and neck over the inside, trying to get her off this inside rein. See me bumping it, bumping that inside rein so she gets off of it a little bit. My front end's not pretty here, my back end's not pretty, but I'm trying to help her understand how to get in that shape and how to lift her belly, because she's much better off my feet here in the middle lifting her back than she was a little bit ago with her head up, okay? She's still trying to bob her neck and use this piece of her neck to lope around. You see how she wants to use that right there? Picking that piece up all the time. So if I keep that broke down, teach her to come down in that neck by shuffling those hands and providing that shape, then I'll have a horse that's a little easier to set down when I need to. So you see, I set her down and that piece came up right away. That's what we're looking to fix. She's got to stay down right there. So I'm coming along. I'm gonna break her down to a trot again. Trot her up here. Using my feet while I go to my hands, asking that belly to come up while I trot. So I'm coming through here, asking this horse to drop her neck, pick your back up at my jog. When I feel her go down into that, then she gets less heavy on my hands and comes up in my feet. So she comes up off my feet right there, comes up in the middle of her body, and I ask her to lope off. I like that lope off a lot better. She stayed down in her neck better. So I'm right here, just kind of sitting in this spot, keeping my hands moving, keeping that bit working. Ask her to give into that. I see her rhythm slow down a ton, right? Now she has some rhythm right there. It's kind of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, up 2, 3, steer 2, 3, lope 2, 3, steer 2, 3. So that's kind of how I measure my lope. You might be able to hear it in the video, in the audio, hear that lope and hear that rhythm underneath of me as I lope around. So what I find is that as she runs off some fresh, she kind of starts thinking like, okay, I'm still in this shape. What do I need to do here to get out of this position, right? What do I need to do to get out of here? I feel like I'm having to work, like my arm's getting tired. My right arm is really tired here as I lope around because she's just leaning all over that. So I have so much more work to do. I'll pull this rein. So much more work to do getting her soft and accepting this position right here where I can start to bring that jaw up to me, where she's not leaning all over that. And that's gonna be capturing that front end up so she's free to swing this inside around and stand on this outside. That's kind of my hole right now. If I can go to compare my left lead to my right lead, she has a hard time stepping through on this right side and getting clean up front. So just kind of a hole that she rode herself into. Hard to say whether we made it or she made it, right? Every horse can be different. Most horses are left-handed versus right-handed, but I like that lope off better. I like this lope a little better. And we're just looking for small progress. Like there's a bunch of brace right there. So just stay, shuffle my hands. I don't want that braceness to creep in there. I want her to stay soft here. Just kind of working my hands, inside coming up to my hip, outside working out and back. There's my hole. So right there, she's kind of thinking, what do I need to do to get out of this shape? What do I need to do to get out of this position? The answer wasn't fling your head up and leave. The answer is going to be keep your neck down and come to me. So right here, she's trying to just lean all over me. I'll pull that rein again. Say, don't lean on this. Stay up right here. See me shift her weight to her outside front leg and then carry on. All this means, all I'm doing here is pulling off against my inside shoulder. She's trying to drop that shoulder so she doesn't have to lope with that leg up. Wants to fall down. There, I'm saying, hey, you gotta stand up, get off this rein. You can't pull all over this, you can't lean all over this. Get your weight on your outside front leg so that your inside is free to stride. Because right now she thinks she's gotta step up in the air with her inside front leg. So if she doesn't have her weight shifted onto that outside front, she doesn't have time to really step out that right front and get out there. So anytime she gets super heavy on me, just pull that rein, side pass out of this, say, hey, give me this piece right here, get up. Try again. Miss my lead, come around here, give me your hip, step up, stay right here, step through me, stand up on your left leg, stand up on your left leg, stay on your left leg, stay right here, stay down on me. See how hard this position is for her. This is gonna be a real sweaty horse when I'm done. But see how I'm just calmly working through this. I'm the expert here, I know what's going on. I know that I'm doing the right maneuver, which is probably the hardest thing when you're working with a horse right here. She's telling you this is super hard, I'm struggling with this, and you have to say, I know it's a hard move. We're just gonna practice. I know it's gonna be ugly for a while. And see, I'm not getting aggressive because she's leaning on me. I'm just helping her understand how to get in that shape, how to get in that position. So all I care about right now, I'm not caring about the quality of her legs. I care about the shape. I care about the fact that she's not getting into a position that I'm putting her in. I am helped by the fact that she can get in that position really easy to the left. So I'll set her down here, give her a little break, see that neck come right back up. She wants to balance off right behind her ears. So I'm trying to break that piece down and saying, hey, you don't need that piece in the air. You can drop that neck. You can stay down in the bridle here. Hey. So I'm really kind of bolstered in what I'm doing, and it helps me know that I'm on the right path because, there, she's pretty heavy on that. I'm just gonna bump her off this. Good girl. I'm kind of helped out in the fact that she can do it so easily to the left. So because she can do it so easily to the left, and it's such a struggle to the right, and I like my lope to the left and I do not like my lope to the right, it's really easy to know that I'm on the right path. So here, if I drop her down, got the shape out of my feet, look how easy she gets into that shape. And I can drop her down. You see her standing that right front. And it's really easy for us. You see how clean my left front leg is here? She stays right underneath of me, real soft in my hands. My left arm doesn't get tired at all. She's just respecting that right there. Dropping her down, I can turn loose, ride straight in that position, and I'm really happy with that lope. So you can have very different horses on the left and right side. So it's our job to kind of even this horse out, work on my weaknesses, show off my strengths. I can sit here and be like, oh man, I'm doing such a good job on my horse's left side, but it's about this right here. This is the bad stuff you got to work on. As the coach of your football team, if your team drops the ball all the time, it doesn't do you any good to work on passing. Work on hanging onto the ball, right? As the coach, as the teacher, You got to work on your horse's weaknesses. Don't just sit there and show off your strengths. Okay, we call that win in the warm-up. When you go to the horse show and you see somebody only working one direction, they're just out there trying to win the warm-up, and I'd rather win the class. So when I go out there and show, I'd rather have a horse that's out there struggling in the warm-up pen and looks great in a show pen than the other way around. So awesome. Thanks so much for tuning in today, guys. Thank you to our Patreon supporters. All of you guys make this possible, and we're testing out the new equipment. I'm really happy with it so far. Give us some feedback. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Untouchable, a new animal.